Since the dawn of time, human beings have had a fascination with speed. We evolved from rowboats to ships, riding horses to owning luxury sports cars, traveling using small biplanes to flying in jetliners and rockets. Militaries around the globe aren't safe from this need for speed, with each iteration of new ships getting faster and faster. But that always begs the question, which warships in history have been the fastest? Today, we aim to answer that question. Welcome to Fast Facts Friday, my name is Eleanor. Just a quick disclaimer for a younger audience before we dive in. This story may be disturbing to some, so viewer discretion is advised. Okay everyone, let's get into it. We are going to look at 4 of the fastest warships that have ever existed. As most of us lovely ship nerds know, the fastest passenger ship ever built is the SS United States, which managed to hit a record-breaking speed of 38.32 knots during speed trials in 1952. This speed record remains unbroken for any passenger liner, with the United States able to cross the Atlantic in just 3 short days. She's also the last ship to hold the blue ribbon, holding this illustrious title to this day. If you'd like an update on her, let me know. She's got some major stuff going on. One thing we do have to note with not only SS United States originally, but with most current warships is that their top speed is classified, and so these top speeds I'll be listing for current ships should be taken with a grain of salt as they could be much higher. As for warships, the very fastest in history is more than likely the experimental hydrofoil HMCS Bras. She served in the Royal Canadian Navy and was built in the 1960s, being launched in 1968. The RCN and the British Admiralty studied the use of hydrofoils for anti-submarine work and high-speed interception. Hydrofoil technology lifted the hull out of the water at high speeds, allowing for faster speeds and greater maneuverability compared to your run-of-the-mill warships. During her sea trials near Halifax Harbor in 1969, the ship showed incredible stability in rough weather, more stable at 40 knots than a conventional ship was at 18 knots. During her sea trials, she exceeded 63 knots, more than likely making her the fastest warship ever built. She was never fitted with weapons or weapon systems, however, instead being decommissioned after the abrupt cancellation of her program in 1971 by the Minister of National Defense Donald S. MacDonald, attributing this to a change in defense priority from anti-submarine warfare to sovereignty protection. She was laid up for about 5 years, and then the program was completely slashed by Liberal government under Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Most of the valuable components were either sold by Crown assets or scrapped. The ship herself was saved and is now a museum ship. The next fastest ship is actually an entire class of ships, and they are still operational to this day. The Skjold class, or Shield class, corvettes of the Royal Norwegian Navy are a class of 6 light, super-fast stealth missile corvettes in service to this day. Commissioned in 1999, they are surface effect craft, also called sidewall hovercraft, which are watercraft that have both an air cushion and twin hulls. They are constructed from an ultra-lightweight combination of glass fiber and carbon composite materials, being covered in anechoic coatings of radar-absorbent materials to keep them extra stealthy. At the time of their introduction, they were the fastest ships on the water. Thanks to their 4 gas turbines combined with rank co-gag gear units built in a lightweight design, these ships could reach a maximum speed of 60 knots. They are still in existence and received upgrades between 2020 and 2024 to keep them up to date through 2030 when replacement ships were envisioned under the terms of the government's defense plan. They really look like speedboats. And speedy they are. If you're enjoying this episode and want to hear more about ships, their careers, and their wrecks, check out our main show Shipwreck Sunday every Sunday night at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, let's get into our final 2. For our next contestant, we meet up in France. Ironically, this fantastic ship was named Le Terrible, and she was one of 6 Le Fantasque class large destroyers for the Marine Nationale, or French Navy. She was commissioned in 1935, designed to counter the fast Italian Condottieri class light cruisers. Le Terrible was powered by 2 Rateau Bretagne geared steam turbines, each driving 1 propeller shaft using steam provided by 4 water tube boilers. Thanks to this setup, she set a world record for a ship with a conventional hull of 45.02 knots. She, of course, would be thrust into war when World War II began in Europe in 1939. In September of that year, she and her sister ships were assigned to the Force de Raid, which was tasked to hunt down German commerce raiders and blockade runners. In 1940, She was present when the British attacked French ships during the attack on Mer el-Kabir on July 3rd, but she was undamaged. After World War II, the ship was only intermittently active for the rest of the 1940s and was modernized to serve as an escort for French aircraft carriers in 1952 and 1953. She would be decommissioned in 1955 and briefly became a training ship until she became reserve at the end of 1956, being stricken in 1962 and scrapped the next year. Our final contestants are the Coastal Combat Ships, or Freedom Class Littoral Combat Ships, which is a current class of the United States Navy. They were built in 2005 and are still at sea to this day, being small, multi-purpose warships to operate in the littoral zone. The littoral zone is the area of land and shallow water along the edge of a lake, pond, or ocean where sunlight reaches the bottom and allows aquatic plants to grow, so very shallow coastal waters. These little ships can reach a maximum speed of 47 knots, but suffer from numerous problems with their electrical systems, engine maintenance, and defects in the design of the transmission. There are plans to retire LCS, or Littoral Combat Ship, hulls, with 2 ships being decommissioned in 2021, and 3 others were going to be decommissioned in 2022, but this was blocked by Congress. The original plan for the decommissioning was around 2030, so that is probably the plan moving forward for the rest of the Freedom class. Warships have always played a key role in warfare since their conception, changing the way conflict is fought. Whichever side has the biggest guns, best strategy, and fastest ships will always prevail, and human history will continue to see the development of ships into speed demons.